in business. Yes, thank you. Recording is in progress. And business analysis. Jana has managed the end-to-end product development process in different domains with main focus on finance solutions, APIs, and data science. And Alexey Reutov, he is a data science engineering manager at SoftServe. He's an inspirational leader, author of scientific articles regarding modeling and optimal decision-making. Alexey has more than 15 years of experience in IT on different positions, providing services in finance, retail, and marketing domains. And today, our speakers will talk about collaboration between product managers and data science team in the process of creation of AI products. Alexey, it is my great pleasure to pass the word to you.
I think closer to Jana, but still, thank you.
Oh, you pass it to Jana. Okay, great. I thought you will begin. Anyways, guys, please welcome Jana and Alexey.
Jana, you're on mute.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you for taking your time to join our event today. As Svetlana already introduced, they will talk a little bit about the collaboration between data scientists and product managers. Why is it important, and where are the points where we can actually collaborate, and what is the ultimate goal? Here is the short agenda. We'll share a few words about the product lifecycle, about the specific roles, and the skill sets required when we're developing a product, especially when we're talking about product with AI solution incorporated. Then we'll focus on the core of today's presentation about collaboration process, and we'll spend some time to answer your questions in the end. Here, I won't stop a lot here because Svetlana already introduced who stands in front of you. So let's begin with the first pillar, product lifecycle. When we're talking about lifecycle, we can think of different aspects, one of which is the software development lifecycle, where we're focusing on the actual development of the product. We can also focus on the product lifecycle from the perspective of a product, and so on and so forth. But I want to start with the lifecycle from product management perspective. Each of us who are occupying this position go through different phases in order to launch a successful product in the end. We first start with ideation and research, where we are trying to collect requirements, do our market research, competitors research, identify what are the niches and what are the customer strategy, and also the features that we will be working in the future. In service companies like SoftServe, this also requires a lot of communication with the customers and their stakeholders to identify their needs and vision. Then we go to the product strategy building along with the product vision building, where we are actually defining the product, outlining what goal we will be pursuing in order to build up this solution. And we can think a little bit on the financial aspect, which incorporates a little prediction of what result we're looking for, or what type of team we'll need in order to build this product, and also potentially of even of a revenue. Having this information, we continue to the next phase of roadmap. It's pretty straightforward, where we are actually taking the product vision and building up the milestones and also the deliverables, putting the prioritization, some timeframes, have this vision also, and be able to go to the next stage of development, where we're executing the backlog tasks divided into sprints. We're also running our tests based on the predefined testing strategy and ensuring in the end that everything is working properly and as expected, so that we're ready for the release, where in general we we can have different aspects, and here we can collaborate with different teams also, as well as in the previous stages. But here we are focusing on the marketing strategy and positioning the product on the market with the purpose of gaining better market share, and also collaborating with sales team just to expose the best features and the best components of the product. Here we are also advising on the metrics that we need to follow up, some KPIs that we need to pay attention to for after the product release. And this is one side of the coin. On the other hand, we do have also the vision from the product itself. Product goes through different phases, starting from the introductory part. And as you can see from this slide, it has different goals and focuses per each stage. When we're at the first stage, we're actually trying to ideate more and do more research so that we can find our market fit, basically where we want to position this product and prepare it to be there to grow and to bring the success that we're looking for. Then naturally, after introduction, we're expecting the growth phase where more customers are interested, we gain better market share, we're expanding, even exploring new opportunities, new markets, and this is the area where we can accelerate the growth, we can gain new users, but also we can start thinking about some improvements and potential new features. And the curve goes to its peak with the maturity part, where the focus is really to keep the market share, where it has already been proven and well recognized. And we are focusing on performing some, for example, KYC activities, which means know your customer better. For maybe we can make some interviews with the customers just to identify what is their satisfaction level. Are they looking for something new that it is missing or not? What are the features, for example, that they are the happiest? And on the other hand, for us to be able to analyze and prepare for the next steps. Naturally, reaching out the peak falls with some decrease. Sometimes this means sunsetting the product. Actually, sunsetting the product could mean not only to determine the best outcome and closure for the product itself, but also to follow the strategy for reintroduction of this product or reinventing some new features that could make the customers happy. And it's gonna be sunsetting, closing one door, opening a lot others. For example, recently I had to work on a few projects where the stakeholders decided to sunset the products purely because of their legacy. Those were very old products, maybe coded 20 years ago or so, and they were somehow incomparable, but also couldn't compete with the current market. It was hard to integrate those legacy products with the cloud solutions that we're currently seeing and exploring. But on the other hand, those products had also quite good market share. So stakeholders weren't determined to close this door. The solution strategy that we took was basically to renew the backend solution with more modern approach, with more modern language, keeping all the capabilities that users are used to in order to keep the user experience as it is. but also adding some optimizations in order to make it faster, more compatible, also easier to be integrated with other applications, and easier to be transformed into the new market needs. So indeed, sunsetting sometimes doesn't completely mean saying bye, but means opening a new door for new opportunities.
And I would like also to add that product life cycle is very important for AI at all, because you could not imagine nothing to be stable for 20 years as it was previously. And just think about classic AI products, some forecast or people behavior, classification, even images. We have currently so quick development of anything related to AI, MLs, that sometimes in 1 year we can get new algorithms that, for example, already are using better data, other type of data, another set of the information. And it's not only the case. So also AI products, they are living the same life cycle, but already based on data that we are collecting. We can introduce product with almost no data. We can introduce product, we can start to generate some value for the company, for ourselves, using some small snapshot of the data, and growth during the time of data collection and maturing with this data. But after this coming sunset, the data are already too old, so we need to already prepare a new model, new process, and other such things. So from my perspective, 20 years is not possible for AI product. Maybe I would like to add also, but the idea of life cycle is very important due to the data presence, and it also moving us to the next slide, on which sorry, misclicking, too much clicks, on which you can see general ML and classic approach. So currently I'm using ML AI in very, comparing ways, so I don't want to move into details. Mostly you're hearing and seeing everywhere AI, artificial intelligence. Sometimes you can say also applied intelligence. There is some difference, but it's not so important for our today's discussion. What is important is that I'm not saying that AI ML, they are substituting traditional approach that we had this 20 years ago, 10 years ago, before data-driven models and approaches. It is like additional layer based on this, because you still can do algorithm with your expert. You still can brainstorm and put some rule-based solutions, and they could still work. And I'm generally recommending to any client to start any product with some rule-based approaches initially, because it is easier, quicker, you can test its whole concept. But then what we're adding data. We're adding expected results based on this data, for which we would like to create the model, for which we would like to create some AI, some additional logic that should make decision automatically in one or other way. And based on this model, we can get inference, we can get some forecast outputs that could be, again, used in traditional program. So more or less, you can still have the same algorithm that you prepared previous traditional program, but you're trying to add some dynamics based on data, based on some additional inputs that is coming into the tool, and they're giving you additional layer with data. And this is actually quality of this layer based on the data. It is improving AI products. It is giving us additional push for any AI product and move them to the, maybe not to the future, but to another level of additional values that we as a clients trying to get from any products that we're trying to use. And therefore we can be happy from AI ML approaches. And to summarize maybe these sections, it's AI process that we prepared in our company, and we trying to move with it. So currently you can try for sure at the end to make some changes, but currently we didn't see nothing that is not applicable or could not be covered. In any case, what is important? It is very aligned what you saw about the product. It's also, you see, in some way we have deploy instead of release, we have discovery maybe instead of ideation. So wording is as already thing, and we can speak a lot about the wording, why this word, not other word, but still the same. You have cycle, in which before going into somewhere, you need to understand what you would like to get. And it is a top level of this diagram. You have a discovery, assessment, ideation, impact measurement that is for sure in the end, not as a start, and all these things. And at the bottom, you have already technical side. You have functional level. Actual data science, it is functional part. When we are training model, we are playing with data, also sometimes data analytics working on this level. Operational, it is mostly already about engineering, how to create model, how to deploy, how to be about the architecture. And one step that very often people could forget, it's business part. It's decision making, decision ops, in other words. Because whatever we are creating with a product, it is expecting to create some additional value. It should support people or give additional information for people or simplify the decision making for people, anything. So there is a lot of approaches, but without business, without decision operations, without people who are using your data that you created with any AI in your business to decrease cost, to improve revenue, there is nothing in AI ML, because you can do a lot of nice things and then not use this. Will it be available? For sure not. Would you like to add something, Yana, here?
Yeah, probably having similar circles and similar faces is the key to the successful result in the end, in the rapid development of current rapid development of products with AI solutions. Who knows?
Yeah, from my 15 experience, I can say only that everything is changing.
Yeah.
So several words we would like also to speak about core components. We generally define at least 5 core important components for AI, but today we are not going to speak about all of them, because today we're concentrating just on several that is aligned with product mindset. First of them is the role of AI on the project. What people think in general? AI, automated, applied intelligence, artificial intelligence, automation, maybe something in manufacturing, we are discarding people, whatever. From my experience, from our experience in the company with all our products, I can say that automatic is not the goal for AI. It shouldn't be actually the goal. Maybe sometimes it is the goal, but it shouldn't be the goal. Because when you're thinking about automatization, you're simply thinking in the category of cost reduction in one or other way. People taking away, simplify some operations. You are not thinking about generating additional value that allow us to be done through the agentic approach. But one step back. So to define your role, we generally recommend you to use at least these 4 questions that you can see. Can it be delegated? Whatever it means by it. Do you have measurable trigger? Is it user focused, and do you need any user input for whatever? And this is your touch points in the process of thinking or in your potential AI product mindset. You're starting to think, can this task be delegated at all? Very often clients coming and saying, we need to improve the process, we need to decrease cost, whatever. We would like to do automatization, but when we started to ask questions, they couldn't explain how it could be delegated. Because expert knows how to do this in one other way, but he doesn't know how to explain this even for any other guy, how to hire someone. He is working here for 10 years, he is satisfied or not satisfied, but at all he is the core of this process and it could not be delegated. In this case, please don't expect to create something with AI. If people don't understand what they are doing, AI will not be able to replicate this, except maybe very complex reinforcement learning algorithm, but they are too costly and they should be replicable after this. And second question is important from the start is measurable trigger. If you have something to trigger to start the process, to estimate the process, to monitor, to control process. If these 2 questions is no, then it is generally only assistive role. What means by assistive? You're giving some information to people to make decision. You're creating forecasts for the demand planning, for demand sensitive. You're creating clusters to use for other models or making decisions, for example, luxury clients, less luxury client, and other things. It's about assistive. And we have 2 additional questions. One of them is user focus. It means whether you have some user with whom you need to communicate, to do something. Call center, for example. Call center has some automatization through the chatbot, but long practice. I remember 3 years, 4 years ago when we had only automatic chatbot. Currently, it is already not applicable. You have some automatization with chatbots. You have also people included because it is moving. people start to understand that they don't like to speak only with chatbot automatized because it doesn't know everything. They still need sometimes people, and we need to build people in the process. So therefore, we have some part of optimization, but still not fully. And user focus. So therefore, if we have no user focus, we couldn't think about agentic, whatever, because it's already people. So automatization and user input. What does it mean, user input? When you need some input from the people. If people needs to decide something, then you could not automatize this. People's decision could be simplified with AI. They could be imitated, but not every imitation is good. Therefore, like say, easy approach, user input. If yes, then not good to automatize. Preferable to move further. So these two questions, no, then again automatization, and again our standard approach to automatize. And the last things, when we have all yes, can it be delegated, measurable trigger, user focus, user input, then it is mostly about agentic. What does it mean about agentic in this case? AI is used to give some information for people to validate, to make the decision based fully, for example, on AI or change this and give the feedback to our AI. So more or less, would you like to buy this? Yes, I would like to buy this. You are buying this, you giving feedback to the people. This is agentic approach. It's not just recommendation. It's also the whole pipeline that you're collecting information from your decisions that you made and people used or not use them. So shortly, it is about the first component that is very important for today's discussion. And the second one, I think, Jana, do you have something to add here?
Yeah, maybe it's the right time for me also to add few words from the product perspective, because I would say that recently I met some stakeholders who are kind of willing to implement AI solution. And after some discussion, it turned out that it's more about automatic solution for their routine work. Don't know the reasons why AI popped up in their mind, probably because it's modern, it's very pretty common and like everywhere nowadays. But really in our hands is also to know the border and be able to assist to the clients and to the stakeholders to make the difference between automatization, between assisting some of the routine work and implementation of some real AI solution.
Yeah, I remember this, like it's not lucky, sad stories about AI products, and then you have 10,000 people on the back end to do some stuff manually and calling this AI. AI is giving too much money gave in the last several years, therefore we need to be careful with this word. So currently, therefore I mentioned that AI, ML, we are currently using in a very changeable approach, but still we need to be ready to clarify. And it is one of collaboration point actually that we brainstormed with Jana, that how to understand what by the AI is meant for this client. What do you expect they from the AI? Maybe it's not AI at all. Maybe it's some just statistics, math, or just nice design.
Yeah.
And second point, important also maybe from Jana's stories, could be also somehow interpreted, it is impact measurement. Because people coming and saying we would like to do something and AI generally is not working in this way. So do expect that AI tries not solving one thing, it is generally solving several things. Short story is customer wanted to decrease stocks. They came to us, please use AI, demand forecast to decrease stocks. Okay, we built model, we forecasted, we created some approach, and we decreased stocks, but not for the whole year. Because for several parts of the year, they had another problem, not related with big stocks, but with not enough stocks. As you can see, it is about this red, purple colors. I am not sure which color, but still, not blue one. So in this case, our model even shows that stocks should be increased. And based on our results, because results were not satisfied initially, we changed the whole approach to solve both the problem with the client and build more coherent AI approach. But clients very often expect that it's very trivial. You are giving one task, they're doing this task that you described. But very often it is not supported by data. Another also case about the pricing. Pricing, manipulation, maybe manipulation is a very strong word, but still manipulation during some promo campaigns when companies started to increase price before promo campaign, and then sometimes they increase to the same level as it was like 2 months ago, calling this promotion, and people still buying because they expect promotion only at this moment. There is different psychological behavior patterns why it could be workable. So I don't want to discuss and move into philosophical questions whether it is good or bad. It is just our life, and we need to be careful with AI and solving only one problem. Yana?
Yeah, maybe I can say that this slide represents also one of my projects and my storyline behind it. In my case, from business perspective, we had also the case of short-term storage and kind of optimizing the cost for the warehouse. The thing is that stakeholders were really business oriented. They didn't see any value in data storage and keeping data and tracking on all that they have, like prices 5 years ago or 10 or 3 years ago, like stock numbers, like how much the product demand. On the other hand, they were really willing to optimize the warehouse stockage. I can say that with several collaboration talks with the team of data science and machine learning engineers, we managed to build similar graphic showing the importance of data, and that if we have everything tracked, we will be able to build a better model in the future, and we'll be able to optimize and fulfill their needs and requirements, cutting down some of the expenses they're currently having, because they were at the moment when they had very high expenses for the warehouses and some sort of lower sales. So to summarize, collaboration with the data science actually could bring the result not only of improved product in the end, but also of improved communication and also building the relationship with the client.
Thank you, Yana. Also, it's maybe second cooperation point is also important about trust. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, and it is one example of one of the projects, just to show you also that could be called AI product. I can say that this was closer to maybe ML or maybe a tool, general mass product. So idea was like to understand, to optimize the number of cashier in retail stores, and queues were too long. You have in stores there were much more cashiers and people on them, and therefore queues were too long, people weren't satisfied, and other such things. So we created very plain model, smoothing some demand forecast based on this demand. Demand sometimes could be created even by some average at some hours, whatever. So it not always should be very complex model. And based on this information of this number of transactions forecast, we set how much people should be on caches for better people satisfaction, and provided this. From one way, people could call this AI product. From other side, I could not say that there is some intelligence, artificial, not artificial. There is still some just pipeline here. And why it is also important use case, because very often people try to solve key problem just with cameras, but cameras could be costly. You need to have a lot. You need to solve the problem with cameras, images, transfers, and all these things. In our case, we used only information from terminals, from post terminals, and in this way, we simplified a lot of approach. So also very important to be creative and try to not just think about how to do this in easy way. Sometimes we need to think how to do this in creative way.
Yeah.
And yeah, team structure. Yeah. So for AI data science, we identified in our company 3 types of teams. It is experimentation oriented, feature oriented, and service oriented. So short description, you will get this presentation, you will be able to read and think more about pluses, minuses of all of these. I don't want to spend our time today. What I want to say, it's just to show why it is important to have products woman or guy, and Yana will help us, but I would like to describe these teams. Experimentation team is mostly when you are creating something new. You don't know whether it will work, whether you have this in data, you need to experiment, you need to create something that could be successful or not, but you have some data or close something closer to the data that you need still to accumulate some idea, and you're experimenting with it. Feature-oriented, you have already something based on which you can add something into your product, into your solution that potentially will use AI to improve people feedbacks. And service-oriented, you are doing something, you need to understand how you can simplify the process, maybe package the solution or install the infrastructure. So you are specifically doing some idea that could be done on big scale. 10 times per day, you can do the same things, even whether it is related with AI, model deployment, coding, whatever. So this is a description of 3 teams. Service teams maybe could be called sometimes also maintenance, but it's a bit bigger. Yana, could you help from your point of view where we need and how much product owner?
Yeah, from my experience, in the first 2 types, when we're experimentation oriented, we're conducting some discoveries, outlining some core requirements, and a lot of communication, along with the feature oriented teams, when we need to align the approaches, again, think of proper development responsibilities and tasks, are the 2 types where the product manager could be really in great help and should be part of those teams. When it comes to the maintenance part, into the 3rd type that you just talked about, service-oriented, the product manager could be somewhere in the background, if ever needed, because it's pretty straightforward and clear what the team will be doing and what is the goal. So I would say that from my perspective, in the first 2 types, we really are needed role. And from my experience.
Yeah, maybe I would like maybe not summarize, but to put this in some numbers. People in AI likes numbers. So service-oriented team is at all background work. There is big problem with service catalogs in companies. Therefore, you need to expect, at least in enterprises, to do a lot of job by product managers before installing all service-oriented team. But it's work before we will do anything at all. For experimentation-oriented team, it's also before, but you need to work with them. You need to research market. You need to understand what will be valuable, whether it is a level. We already showed on our diagram, topest level, where you have adoption, where you have ideation, brainstorming, whatever we are calling discovery. You could not go into AI without any ideas how people will react on this. Then we will have these bad AIs that are not properly recognizing images or saying very bad words, whatever. So because people don't think about this applicability, maybe they don't speak about product owners before starting this research, just idea, we will do this research and create this great model. And feature-oriented team. Feature-oriented team is mostly about product owner, product manager. You need to have them more or less on any stage, but you could not stop, you could not skip, you could not miss them here.
Cool. And now probably I could share a bit more words about the specifics of AI product manager. And since we touched a little bit where we are needed and heard the opinion of a data scientist, let's go through this slide. Probably most of you have or are currently asking yourself, why AI product manager and what is the difference? In the end, we're conducting the same phases. We were required again to build a roadmap, to do our cooperation with the customers, to build good relationship with the stakeholders, so on and so forth. The role of the AI product manager actually covers all core product manager responsibilities with another layer on the top. As you can see, where we need to be focused not only on the regular product lifecycle, but we also need to be aware of what AI means, and also to be able to easily understand what, in this case, Oleksiy is talking about, why we need data, and what are the capabilities and limitations of using this data, to be able to quickly identify, like we previously gave an example for the border between automation and actual AI implementation. What is important for the AI product manager is to be able to understand the data and some basic ML algorithms. For example, you need to know what are the data types. You need to have some basic understanding of what is the difference between structured and unstructured data. Also, what is, for example, NLP, or when we're talking about computer vision, working with images, and so on. In a nutshell, engineers and data scientists really like when they're understood, and here Oleksiy can confirm or correct. But this is a very important skill, to be able to speak the technical language. Another important point is to mention about the research and analysis. Here, we're used to this. We're used to conducting the competitor, the marketing research. But what is important is also to keep yourself in pace with the latest trends, which are really fast-paced nowadays, to be able to identify how new solutions that are like the star of the day can be implemented into your product, or what could be the competitors, what are the limitations of them, so that you can quickly adapt and apply this knowledge and analysis into your product. And I won't go through all the bullets, but when we're talking about soft skills, we really need to be focused on the design thinking, and not only design, but also abstract thinking. Here, under design, I'm not talking purely for UI or UX stuff, because in most of the cases, we have our colleagues who are expert there and could support us. But on the other hand, we need to be able to know how the product will be designed and how the AI solution would improve or complement it. And ethics, last but not least, we all have heard about certain regulations, limitations, which come from legal perspective, especially when it comes to data. For example, we know about the GDPR here in Europe, but there are different regulations in the United States, and more specifically, there are different regulations per state. So it's really important to take this into consideration. And Oleksiy, one question for me, from me to you. What is the most important skill that you're looking for an AI product manager when you're working with such?
I could not say that this is the most important skills. Because what I need from product manager generally is help with product, because it's other mindset, it's research markets, and we are missing into this VLS, generally people, even so we are studying data scientists to work with people a lot, they need, but what we are missing, it is here important, because generally product managers, they could understand already IT very often, but they don't understand AI. They don't know maturity of technologies, what is algorithm, why data is so important, not just static data, changes in data, drifts in data, and all other things. And actually, it is good examples with ethics. I don't expect still that product managers could support too much, because it's still philosophical topics as for me, but it's very important to at least explain sometimes to sort of the data scientists, engineers, for people mostly not talking with people very often, or maybe not mostly, but still sometimes, that there is some ethics that they need to think about this problem, because in other case, yeah, I don't cry, and something like this will be our future.
Yeah.
So maybe let's go to collaboration process, maybe to a bit already closer to the closing of the presentation, but still a lot of materials, don't skip. So Also very important why AI people could help product manager, because as I mentioned, general technical capabilities, our organization, ideas of AI, some stuff additional, they are not in expertise of product manager, and we can need support. On the side, you can see at least like how much 10 the most important challenges that we have in AI. I don't want to go one by one, but just to explain you can imagine that with all of these changes, you need to support PDM, product manager. You need to work with them. You need to explain why it is important. You need to support them. You need to speak. You need to do a lot of things, because if you will miss something in the end, it could be a problem, data problem, a skill set of people, because you don't have some specific skills and you would like to do CV model with NLP people or whatever. How to do this, not just product, but product workable, automatable, and all these things. And we with Yana proposed at least such approach shortly, as you can see on the next slide, related to at least 3 questions. At least find 3 questions that you can initially think from the other side. And you can see some of them on this slide. From the perspective of data, what data is needed? And for Yana?
And for me, it's important to know with whom I'll be talking to and who is responsible for what.
Yeah, second is about already business problem, what we are solving or how we are going to solve, what pain gains points can be addressed from data science.
And yeah, for me, it's important to know what is the communication plan here. And the communication is not purely those small talks or nice talks with the colleagues and the stakeholders, but also the communication from the product perspective and the strategies taken there.
And about business impact. What hypothesis is the next to be checked is important for data scientists, and without this we could not go, but product managers has also other opinion.
And we're interested into the engagement strategy, where we're focusing on why and how. And there are much more, but we don't want to take too much of your time.
Yeah, you can find any questions, but what is very important with these questions, it is build the trust, try to speak, and it should be both sides talking, because you are one team, you're creative. And I think, Yana, let's proceed to additional slides that you prepared related to communication.
Yep, of course. And here is why customization of what we spoke about. At the heart of everything, the ultimate goal between for this collaboration process is to build up the proper product vision, strategy, and have the product management approach. I won't go through each and every bullet, but as you can see, this actually lilac rectangle represents everything that stands and actually is the result of a good collaboration, and there is a lot of work behind it. Another thing that we wanted to share with you is one approach that we could use when we have the task to build up a product with AI solution incorporated. One of the pretty common techniques is the double diamond, and all those processes of diverge and converge, of asking questions and collecting replies. Here, from the perspective of Olex and I working together to come up with the right proposal, we start from the needs and requirements. Why? Because we need to identify what is needed and what we're actually dealing with. Pretty often, the first diamond happens during the discovery phase, when we're starting asking a lot of questions to our customers, when we're talking about service companies like SoftServe, and collecting their replies in the converge part, in order to be able to reach out to the analytics phase, to ideate, to identify all the opportunities, and go to the second diamond to evaluate. What we are evaluating? We're evaluating all the results from our analysis and pre-collected data, what we have, what we need, and what we're targeting to achieve in the end. Again, going through these diverge and converge stages, where we are asking questions. Pretty common. It happens with a lot of meetings within this diamond until we reach out to the ultimate goal to shake our hands for the right product vision and strategy. And maybe Alexi, do you have anything to add here?
Yeah, so because as we mentioned also several minutes ago and previously, we mentioned a lot about trust, support, all these things. So you're not adding product manager or AI to the okay, AI sometimes could be engineers, but if you're talking about some high level person to ideate some additional like ideas, AI evangelist, whatever, you're not just adding them to prepare the vision and that's all. Generally, we're adding such different profiles to create something new, and how we can allow them to create something new. From one side, they are doing divergence. They are creating new ideas. They are trying to get the pillow on their side. They giving a lot of arguments why AI is here more important, not product, and product people saying that why product is more important in some way. And then you have a lot of let's imagine huge hype with its ideas, with different arguments. And then we need to match them. Because if we will not match product with AI, we will not go, we will not get money. It will be a stop point. And in this case, you're starting to take one idea and checking, is it applicable for AI maturity? Could be it done? Is it enough technical stack? Could be it accepted from the person for the client? Could be it workable? And other such things. So because you initially you're creating a lot of ideas, you're doing divergence more or less, then you're taking a lot of ideas, you are doing convergence. I saw that there is questions about examples, so plain example related to demand prediction. I don't want to go into a lot of details about ideas, but how AI could support? He can explain to the product manager that we have at least 3 types of algorithm, and not speaking even about neural network. So we have demand forecast as a sales forecast as a time series analytics. We can have additional algorithms from the perspective of survival basis. So more or less another framing of the problem, how quickly you will solve all the products that you have, if you will have so many, something like this. And the third one, when you are starting to collect a lot of products, taking a look on correlation, putting this in machine learning, in deep neural networks, whatever, and you have at least 3 algorithm. And then I can create, during the divergence phase, different ideas how we can do this with different technology stacks, blah, blah, blah. Product manager at the same time trying to explain what will be problem. For example, we don't have enough stocks. We have too much stocks. People could not find the product because it's too much products or whatever. Such ideas. And when we're having these ideas from 2 sides, and then we are coming to the convergence phase, and we are starting to match. Okay, deep neural network. Could it cover at least one problem for product manager description? No, could not cover. Could we somehow tune it to cover this? Not, we cannot, for example. Then we need to discuss this idea. Some product problem, out of stock. Is there any algorithm that we can cover out of stock? No, cannot. Let's think about maybe another algorithm, or maybe discuss this idea at all, not having this in our AI product. And then in the end, for example, we're having 3 or 4 ideas that, for example, we can go further. And it could be done on discovery phase, on evaluation phase, because it's not just doing one time. You don't need to do this all the time. The same as the question with marketing and content, people wrote it. Maybe, Yana, I think it's already everything for today from the information. Therefore, I would like to share one question and we can share with you our opinion. 1 second. What is the role of content and marketing in different stages of AI products life? And it's biggest problem for me. So for several years, I thought that I can do all the time marketing and content at the end stage. I have already models. I know how to do this. I know the problem to be solved, and then I'm doing content and marketing. Yana and other product managers said me, no, it is not possible. You need to do at first market research. You need to collect ideas. You need to understand your competitors to create your product. But at the end, we saw also that it should be done also not one time. You need to do this all the time, and it's good validation whether your product could live. Because if you could not update your initial materials on the next stage, on the next phase, then you need to rethink whether it is at all applicable, because no content, no marketing materials, how you are going to sell this. Yana, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. You can't just throw yourself on the market and saying, hey, this is great. You need to do your prep work, definitely. And what is really the success equation maybe is exactly building up this trust and collaborating together with your colleagues with the understanding that each of you is the professional in your own area, and yeah, together we can build up the best result. Maybe maybe we can go through the questions now, because
I generally answered all the questions during the presentation. We currently don't have too much, therefore I'm proposing people to unmute if they would like and ask us directly. We can discuss with you. Maybe you don't agree with something, please.
Yeah, that was I was actually had in mind to say that Alexei is really fast in answering the questions in the chat. Leave us something for Q&A discussion, okay?
We already discussed the one important thing.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, could you please stop sharing the screen maybe so we could see the faces? Maybe someone would really like to show up. And Yana, in the meantime, we have this question from Yuri. What exactly means under diverge and converge? Could you give a bit more of an explanation here?
Yeah, I think that actually we went through this with an example, but those diverge and converge stages actually reflect the moment when you're expanding or more ideas. So you're talking, communicating, asking your questions in order to find out more information when you're diverging. So you're kind of expanding the information that you're talking about. And then during the converge phase, you're actually decreasing the amount of data, outlining what is important, what is applicable, what is really needed. So that you can continue to the next phase and use this outcome of your discussion and analysis on high level explanation. Hope this answers the questions, but if anything, please let me know.
Thank you, Yana. Lots of actually appreciation words in the chat. People like the event and we are happy with this. Alexei, I don't know, did you see this question? What are your favorite resources to get acquainted with the new trends?
Yeah, I saw I missed to answer, but I cannot actually answer, unfortunately. I don't believe in Medium anymore. Several years ago, maybe I would be able to say Medium. Sometimes there is good articles, but it's very hard to find something. Therefore, I am saying that maybe I am just lucky because I am checking different sources. I am in this topic. I am speaking with the people. Therefore, they're sharing their opinion. In any case, it is good always to check about AI, at least to check AI in the year articles. Almost on any year you can have something like this from Gartner, from McKinsey. Also, there is official AI report, something like AI in the world or AI in the year. 1 second, I actually state of AI report, and it is a publishing it each year, and actually it is very good from the perspective of some trends. And don't believe in one report only. If you see something in one place, it's almost for sure not all people will accept in this way. Try to think at least, take a look at least 2 or 3 places, because wording different, approach is different, thinking. So it's a very hard. But in use, generally, it is very manipulative, and I am not recommending check trends in any news at all.
Okay. Yes, Yana, please.
I said that you can always find the bias there.
Yeah, buzzwords, I like them.
Or maybe ask some AI, like ChatGPT, what are the next trends?
Yes, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT is not the trend, actually. ChatGPT is...
No, to ask them what is the next AI trend.
We, by the way, asked. I saw some of people in our team played with it and also asked, and it answered. And I would like to say it's like was 2 years ago. So ChatGPT is nice tool to play with. It's showing potential capabilities, but we need to understand this. It's informational, everywhere published. If it published more, then it is something high, buzzword, and is generally not something new. Because if everybody are speaking about this, mostly it's already not hype. It's it's already hype. It's not trend because everybody are talking about this. So we need to go to something else that is hidden, because brilliance, they are generally hidden. It's not something that everybody knew.
Yana?
Probably I'm actually looking forward to see what the competitors would come up with, because of this, as you mentioned, the ChatGPT, actually there is quite big hype currently, but I also happen to see some reports and some trends for competitors trying to do some other tools, replicating or even trying to be better than this. For me, I expect it to be even like spoken more, used more, the AI in general. But what will be the next trends? I guess we'll see who will be the first on the market.
Okay, thank you. I think we will wrap up the session. Thank you very much to everyone who joined us. Such an active and live chat, actually. Thanks for this interaction with us. People say that, Alexey, Yana, you brought a really interesting topics to discuss, and it was really valuable session. So thank you for this. Please follow Software social media and Product Management Community Center social media to get to know about our next events. And yeah, you're always welcome at our events. Have a great evening. And Jan, Alexey, maybe you just a few words to say goodbye to everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking time and staying here with us. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. We have Preslava Sergeyeva Ivanova also in the chat. Great job, both of you. The ideas and tips are so helpful for data scientists to understand better PM role. Cool, cool. Nice to read those comments. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Have a nice evening.
Bye. Yeah, and wait for the recordings. We will send them.